the objective! Here!
Not abandon this fight, soldier.
Getting captured.
Attention, we no longer control objective Charlie. Hull has been upgraded. You must disarm the explosive
Stay
at
close
objective
and defend
Charlie.
the objective.
Able is in jeopardy. Defuse the explosives there.
Destroy the objective!
We must defuse the explosives at Charlie.
Miller joined your channel.
Taking that objective!
Oh, okay.
Thank you!
Yeah, the flamethrower is pretty fun on that tank, man.
Oh, fucking standing.
Someone right next to us?
No, Not that I saw, anyways.
Hello everyone, welcome to today's episode. Let's take a look at the Sherman tank for the Americans. Gonna show you my specialization tree. So like you saw in the previous one, it does seat 3. I decided to go with the far left side for the most part, which means I start off with the reinforced tracks because, you know, you pretty much have to. Then I dropped it down to the coax flamethrower instead of going with the 15% field repair, because you're still going to get the emergency repair, and it's just a lot better to have the flamethrower because the flamethrower is pretty awesome. I originally had this, I think, with the far right side. Again, for the purposes for the video, I'm going to show you what I had, of course, for the video. But in the past, I have gone with other variations, and I'll give you guys some tips in regards to that in a bit. Alright, so after that, of course, the 105mm M4 howitzer instead of going with the high explosive smoke shells. As far as long range, you're just not going to get it with this, but I mean, if you're willing to, be a person going around flamethrowing infantry, for the most part, having the 105mm M4 howitzer kind of makes sense anyway, because you're going to be hit medium to heavy tanks pretty hard with this. You might have the attitude, well, you wish you had it combined with like armor piercing rounds, but it's actually the better route to go, because after you select this on your specialization tree, you're going to want to go with the reinforced turret ring. Like it mentions, it increases the durability of the turret mechanism, withstanding more damage before breaking. So, if they're shooting you with explosives and so on, you want to have a chance, if you will, to basically survive longer, or preferably have an engineer with you, a mechanic or something like that to fix you up. And then as far as that goes, the 5th tier, I didn't go with the reinforced engine. I mean, some people like that. I found it out that if you don't go with that, you really sacrifice the turning radius with this. It ends up being too slow. It just feels like the hydraulic is just, slowly moving to the left, slowly moving to the right, and by the time, you you mess with enemy tank or even just infantry, I mean, they're just going to run circles around you. You gotta have this. This one is a must. So go with the improved transverse rotation. And then last but not least, the improved loading mechanism, just to be able to increase the rate of fire by 10%. I felt as though it was a lot better than going with jury rigging or the increased ammo capacity. So, as far as tips go, there's another guy who I'm subscribed to. I'm sure some of you guys are subscribed to him. He's actually recently started doing videos again. Make sure you check out his channel, Azura. And I'll post a link in the description to his channel. He's got some good tips, I should say, on where to shoot enemy tanks, for instance. So, for instance, looking at this one, if this was an enemy tank, this area right here, you want to aim for that. You always want to aim for like the tracks, for instance. Big mistake people make is they'll try to shoot like head on, and if you're able to time it right and you're able to hit right dead center top turret as it's firing, yeah, you can destroy that tank, but most likely you're not going to time that right. So it's always going to be these little areas here are the weak spots. And of course, if you happen to be on the side, of course, anywhere in the tracks, and the weak spot, of course, is directly behind. But if you're not directly behind, you're having a one-on-one. Don't do the typical thing of just aiming head on, like up here or down here. I mean, of course, if there's a top gunner sticking his head out, then you want to take him out. But as far as destroying the tank, that's the best way to go about it, because those are weak spots. Again, going against the Tiger, you're not going to really survive it, even hitting it with direct hits from your 105, or if you happen to have the armor-piercing rounds through a different variation, which would technically be 76mm combined with this. And the reason why I say that is just, they have way more armor, and they're going to hit you a lot harder. In one of the clips, it's on Panzerstorm. I'm going up against a Sturmgeschütz, and on that, I mean, yeah, you could pretty much run circles around him, which of course the clip shows. So, yeah, that's something to definitely keep in mind. You want him in the weak spots. Now, as far as different variations, let's say you don't want to go with what you saw in my video. You're more focused on just, taking out armor and armor only. And infantry happen to be a bonus for you, then yes, I would recommend going with the far right side, and then combining that with either the engine upgrade or doing something like the field repair. Because if you think about it, that extra 15% compared to doing an emergency repair would probably make the difference in you surviving against something like Sturmgeschütz from long distance, Panzer IVs, possibly Tiger tanks, but you better darn well have maybe a mechanic or two with you. And then of course I had this just simply for the long range. And then yeah, I believe I did go with either this or this. It doesn't really matter too much. And of course, if you do decide to go with the 76mm M1A1 tank gun, it's not the end of the world if you don't go with the transverse rotation. I mean, yeah, it's preferred. It's just that you gotta keep in mind you're not gonna have the armor-piercing rounds. So it's kind of like, this far left side. Well, you're not gonna have the choice for the most part to combine transverse rotation with high explosive rounds, because it's just not going to work. I know I said armor piercing, but for the most part, it's kind of like an armor piercing round to a sense. It's just more high explosive. But yeah, for the most part, if you do go with this, then the last one, you still want to go with the improved loading mechanism. You'll notice a difference for sure. So, and again, whether you're hitting them with the high explosive round or you're hitting them with just a plain old 76mm, or heck, even the 105mm. Again, can't stress enough, aim for the weak spots. This area here, the sides, like I mentioned before. You get lucky and get behind them, backside. And that's pretty much the rule of thumb for any tank battle for the most part. As far as what I've noticed. So, before you wrap up this episode, I've had some people mention to me that they would like to know what kind of tank skin this is. I'm gonna go ahead and show you that. Let me see. So if we go around Sherman, customize, it is the paint job, the Tiger front. I believe you get that with the pack. So that would be one technically that you would have to purchase from the armory on one of the bundles. And then as far as the dressings, I got the flagship. And it means just that. I mean, puts a flag on it. It's got the original, well, World War II era flag, which was 48 stars before America acquired Alaska and Hawaii with 50. And then got the flagship, I guess you could say, was it chassis dressing? Yeah, chassis dressing. And I just felt as though it looked pretty cool. I mean, when you combine that with the Tiger front, so yeah, looks pretty cool. So there you go. Again, seats 3. You can have a guy on the top. Hopefully you have your engineer on F2, so he's protected on the inside. Otherwise, he's going to be sniper bait. But that pretty much concludes today's episode. Hoping to get some more out soon. After work tomorrow, I'm going to have 2 weeks off. Since I'm a teacher, so I'll be off until a little bit past New Year's. I think I go back on January 4th, so I should be able to bust out a few more videos for you all. And believe it or not, I'm going to get some Cold War videos too. I know that's not Battlefield, but trying to expand my subscriber base with that. So, but don't worry, I'm still going to always do Battlefield. So, alright guys, I can't thank you enough for supporting this channel, and we'll see you on the next one. Over and out for now.